Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So, Alien Romulus, the opening weekend box office. It's here. It's done. What's the box office numbers? You read from the headline, the title, $108 million. Now, I've done some investigation into this film, just to take a look at the potential tax credits that this film would have received, the amount of money that it would have had reimbursed to it to offset against its budget. If the figures are true, if this qualifies for the normal tax credits, because we don't know if that is the case, but if this film qualifies for all the normal tax credits that it should, it's pretty much already in profit. I know that sounds really weird. Okay, we'll take a look and I'll talk you through it. But basically, we're looking very, very promising for this as a movie. If it's not in profit already by now, it will be in profit by next week. 100% based on the figures that I've done, which I will show you. But let's take a look. So this is an article over on Forbes. And it says Alien Romulus breaks $100 million at the global box office and topples Deadpool in the US, which it does. So, top line. The ninth film in the long-running Alien franchise scored a $41.5 million domestic opening, the second best ever for the series, and grossed an impressive $108 million worldwide, thanks to impressive ticket sales in China, according to multiple outlets. So, here's what they say as their key facts, and we'll dive into this, right? Alien Romulus reportedly grossed $18 million domestically on Friday and in previews, ultimately growing to surpass its $40 million projected debut by the end of the weekend and marking the third impressive opening of the summer for Disney. The movie had the second best opening of any Hollywood film so far this year in China. It did $25.7 million in its open weekend in China. Romulus is the ninth Alien movie to be released since the original in 1979. Had the franchise's second best domestic opening weekend ever behind Prometheus in 2012, surpassing 2004's Alien vs Predator, which did $38.3 million, and Alien Covenant from 2017 at $36.1. And then also it says it kicked Deadpool and Wolverine out of the top spot. That's fine. So, what does it say? Okay, and this, right, I'll just break down why I think this has already gone into profit. Okay, so this film had a production budget of $80 million. Okay? $80 million. Now, you might go, but Nate, you're insane. This film could not possibly be in profit already. It's 80 million and it's at 108.5 million. And I go, yeah, no, you're right. 100%. If we're doing all things considered, right? The box office, you're supposed to basically 50% it. Okay, that's the take home for the studio. So they would have took about just over $50 million home, right? So obviously that's not 80 million. Okay, however, and this is what's really important to note, is this film had essentially the entirety of its production shoot in Budapest. Now they have tax incentives, tax rebates, tax credits. Do you know how much it is? It's quite a lot, actually. It's 30%. 30% of 80 is 24. So that puts it around just over the 56 mark. Obviously. I have to look at my phone. I did all these figures on my phone. So if you're looking at 56 as its production budget, which is the likelihood here, right? If this film has qualified for the tax credits, which I'm sure it would have done, I think that makes a lot of sense. I don't see why it wouldn't have done for that. You've got a production budget of $56 million. Because that is what Hungary does. That is their filming tax incentives. That is what they do in Hungary. That's why you've got a lot of productions going over to Hungary, because they can do a lot for very little, and then they also provide quite a high tax incentive sort of system that they've got over there. So $56 million. Okay, $56 million, double that, it's obviously 112. This film did 108.5. I mean, it's almost there. It's almost at the break-even point. It's almost into profit. It's not profitable yet, but it's certainly not the $160 million mark or even the $200 million mark that some people are rounding it up to. This film is about to be profitable. By next weekend, if this film even has anywhere close to just, you know, what people are thinking it's going to have, which is like a 50% drop off in box office, right? Which I don't know. This film is wildly popular. Wildly popular. And a lot of people are repeat viewing this. They're really, really keen for repeat viewings, right? So if this film, say, does the 50% drop off, it's already gone into profit at that point. Done. But boom, it's made money. Made money instantly. In fact, it will probably make money as of today. It will probably go into the break-even point as of today. So this has been a wild success. Absolutely incredible success for 20th Century Studio. Don't quite want to say Disney, but an incredible success for 20th Century Studios. Now, there will be some people that will argue, yeah, but China takes a high, percentage of that box office. They do, actually. They do. So that is also important to note. It does diminish it ever so slightly, but we don't know. Like, Disney does actually have a pretty strong relationship with China. Obviously, they filmed Mulan over near a slave camp, so look it up. They actually did that, and they thanked the slave camp in the credits. So maybe they've got a better relationship there. Who knows? And maybe they can, apply better things. I'm not overly sure, to be honest. But regardless, by next weekend, this movie would have made money. This is a profitable film. So I thought this was interesting as well. $1.3 billion is actually how much the Alien films, not adjusted for inflation, have grossed at the worldwide box office. That's crazy. That's crazy for these little films. And then again, for those that, just want a different article here, you got Deadline reporting the numbers here. It did 108.2 million global, so not 108.5, but 108.2 million global. And it did great. It did really, really well. It does say in the fickle market, which is down in general versus last summer, local titles including the increase on Alien Romulus was massive day on day this weekend. We're hearing that's down to strong word of mouth. And this is why I think it's going to have a really good second weekend, because the word of mouth is so good on this film. Like, that's great. It's a really, really good weekend. So, yeah, not really much else to say, really. But, I mean, it's essentially number one pretty much everywhere it released, which, again, is absolutely brilliant. There's some great numbers in IMAX. Yeah, I mean, we're basically there. And it even says here, Fede Alvarez delivered one of the best entries in this series, and Disney successfully leveraged IMAX to help put a fresh spin on this beloved long-running franchise. So, there you have it. Alien Romulus essentially has made money. In raw numbers, and as of today, it would have broken into the profitable margin mark. Now, this isn't COPE. I know some people are like, COPE, blah, blah, blah. No, just literally every film has a tax credit system, right? So if you know the budget, which we do for this film, which we don't know for some other films, but for this film we do. It's been wildly reported, $80 million. And you just go to where it had its production, which was Budapest. 30% is the tax rebate, tax credits, tax incentive. So budget was 56 million. Pretty damn good, actually. Pretty damn good. So literally 112 million to break even. We're there today. Now, we don't know how much the marketing budget was, but it can't have been that much money. They had a good marketing campaign, but it was all grassroots. Give a whole bunch of people, actors, facehugger masks and tell them to, amble around New York City. I mean, that's thousands, really. It's not that much. It's not millions, is it? And then TV spots, and that was it. No major TV spot releases either. It wasn't like at the Super Bowl, which is tens of millions of dollars. So this has been really, really good. Great success. This has been a fantastic success. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye now.